on the agenda is a call to order and the roll call.
Robert White,
Present.
Sarah Buckman,
Present.
Barbara Headland,
Present.
Abby Harris,
Present.
Hannah Andreessen,
Present.
Xander Hazel.
Present.
The next item on our agenda today is the approval of minutes from the previous meeting, which was May 13th of 2025. Are there any questions or discussion we need to entertain before we vote on the approval for the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes for May 13th.
Second.
All approved, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion has passed. Do we have any additions to the agenda today?
No additions to the agenda. I just have an additional guest that I didn't mention in my staff report with us here, but I'll get to that in just a minute.
Okay, good. The next item is the public input. Do we have any public input for today?
No public input.
Great, thank you. Now we're on to presentations and the staff report.
All right. Hello, everyone. We have, it's been a little while. It's been 2 months since our last meeting, since we didn't have a June one. So there's a lot to get through. I did want to just start off by welcoming Robert, our newest commissioner. And I just have some things I wanted to say about Robert. Robert is the Director of Group Sales and Partnerships with Experience Champaign-Urbana, working to build experiences that are meaningful and connections in the community and showcasing Champaign-Urbana. So I just took little tidbits from what I gathered from your information. Robert also works on the African American Heritage Trail project, which I think everyone's familiar with. But I'm very excited for you to be joining us, and I think it's going to be really great to have your insight and your perspective on our commission. So thank you. I also just wanted to say a welcome to Mayor Williams, who's joining us today. And this will be probably the first and last time you join our Arts Commission meeting, possibly, because I know you're busy, but we have really exciting stuff sometimes. And so we'll definitely make sure to invite you to those things. All right. I also wanted to say a thank you to Nicholas Dudi, who was the Arts and Culture intern. This is the only photo that we managed to get of Nicholas's face. So that's why we have that. That's from when we got rained out during Juneteenth. And I just wanted to give a little brief overview because I know a lot of you didn't get to meet Nicholas. But Nicholas is a Colombian and French costume designer pursuing his MFA at the University of Illinois, where his work has been featured in productions such as A View from the Bridge, The Winter's Tale, Oklahoma, and The Realness at Krannert Center. His journey as a designer began at university in Columbia, where he first explored the creative potential of design, not only on stage, but in the fabric of everyday life. There, he discovered a fascination with the role of art and design in city planning, enriching public spaces through creativity and cultural expression. Nicholas just completed his internship June 30th, where he served as the intern for the city for 8 weeks. During his time, he worked with me directly and was part of a lot of projects. So some of the things that he worked on were setting up ambiance with the Park District and 40 North for the Candlelight Serenade, leading an arts make and take project at the Pride Postmark event, but most of all, Nicholas helped me with the grants. He helped notify all the applicants who received and didn't receive awards, navigating some FOIA requests as well. He worked with me on preparing the grant agreements for 23 recipients, back-to-back emails to assist grantees. He prepared invoices for all grantees, and he also helped host the sneak peek event at the IMC. It was an incredible experience working with an intern for the first time in my 2 years here. Inviting a UIUC MFA student to work as an intern was not only an incredible gift to arts and culture, but we also continued to work just with like a low staff, so having him around was really uplifting. And it also, I think, just helped build the relationship between the city and the College of Fine and Applied Arts, which was really amazing. So looking at how successful this past just 8 weeks was, I believe that the arts and culture program should have an intern in place the whole time. 365 days a year. So for fall, spring, and summer semester. So that's just something I wanted to share with you all. Right now, we have funding for pretty much only partial one semester. And so just looking into the future, I think that this is something that is totally worth it to be a part of our budget. So I just wanted to share that. Right now, as an update, Nicholas is enjoying Italy with his family, where his family live. So he's living it up. Okay. All right, moving right along. I wanted to start with some 40 North updates. These are some images from the June postmark, which the theme was color for Pride Month. There was a lot of really fun activities that were held outside and inside of the Urbana Free Library. The lower middle image is the art activity that Nicholas was running, which was the painted flower pots. Another update, really exciting update, is that if you remember way back when y'all got to vote on the murals on glass, this was the selected piece for the parking garage. So now there is not the portrait of Lincoln, but we do have the cardinal rabbit, which was a piece created by Eka. So really colorful, and it has definitely sort of uplifted that area, and it's just fresh. I don't have an image of the sculpture program update, but there has been a new installation of the rotating Public Arts League sculptures. So we have a couple of concrete platforms, I guess is what they're called. One is at the Boneyard Creek Crossing, and there was a sculpture there by Greg Stallmeyer from before I had started, but it was not, it turned out not to be so outdoor proof, so it's been replaced with a different one. Yeah, so right now there's Melt, which if you pass by that area, you'll see it is like a blue sculpture. It's pretty cool. There is some construction happening in that area with the electrical project, so it's not looking like the best situation right now. There are cones around it, so just letting you know.
Viviana, just a quick question.
Yeah.
The other murals on glass, we looked at maybe having some on the windows on Main Street. Is that something that 40 North is thinking of still doing?
They're still doing it. The update that I have is they're working with deans, and so this was the first one that got on the schedule. So I believe the second one will be installed by the end of the summer. I think that we're thinking about doing like a group ribbon cutting since things are really close in the same vicinity. So we don't have those dates right now, but hopefully soon we'll have a date for the ribbon cutting to do all of those downtown installation celebration. All right. So you would see in front of you this packet right here. That's the Urbana Arts Grantees for 2025. This is information that has everyone who is awarded the Project Fund 23 grants. So there is a lot of information to get through. I did want to go through the slideshow that's here because it has a lot of visuals to share. But if in your own time you want to read through all the descriptions for the projects, and then also that will be on the city website under Arts and Culture, and on the grant page, you can download this packet and check it out too. But this slideshow was made for the sneak peek event. Nicholas put this together and did a really beautiful job, so we can go through and look at the awardees. Getting to know Chinese musical instruments by the Chinese American Association of Central Illinois. They received $2,000 as a tier 1. People's Chorus community performances with CU Sings. All Score Urbana Turnaround Music presents Postal Pieces. Afro-Caribbean Jazz Collective is presenting Rhythms of the Diaspora. Gwen Montgomery and E. Ainsley are installing Blacklight Box. Brittany Hayen from High End Fibers is doing Fiber February. Saturday Lunch Explorations with Uni High Arts, and this is happening at the University Laboratory High School. A school mural at Urbana Early Childhood School by Monica and Dino. Urbana High School is going to be installing a community life and agricultural sciences mural. Our previous poet laureate, Will Rager, will be doing another project with the grants, Sangamon Anthology of Poetry. The inaugural poet laureate. Ty Lewis and Dance at Illinois is going to be presenting the Essence in Between Movement and Sound project. The Turnaway Play with Urbana Champaign Reproductive Justice and the Station Theater, and Latrell Bright, who is a local director. Jake Metz and Multimodal Productions, I think it's a team, is doing Art Tech Hack Night Workshop Series. She Spins Urbana, which is DJ Silky. I think this is the third year, not consecutive years, but the third year getting this grant and funding this program. Fiddle and Jam Weekend with C4A. The Rose Bowl Tavern Sunday Fun Day. Spanish Islanding Dance Workshops, Landing in Motion with Jennifer Munson. Champaign Urbana Black Author Book Fair with Ariel Sadler. Reimagining Urban Landscapes Through Sound, Liquid Dreams. And Creativity on Wheels, put on by Family Service of Champaign County. Art Lab, put on by the Carl Woese Institute for Genomic Biology. Makerspace Create classes with the Urbana Makerspace. Art House Film 217 film series with Rachel Storm. And those are all coming soon for 2025 and part of 2026. So pretty exciting. That's a lot of really amazing projects that are going to be happening. Almost all of them are going to be downtown in the TIF area, but there are some at like the high school, uni high, early childhood education school where those are using general funds. But it's pretty awesome that so many of them are going to be happening downtown.
How many applicants did you have
Applicants.
for the grant series this year?
This year it was 68. There were some other ones there were definitely a lot that were started, applications that weren't finished, but 68 were fully submitted, and so 23 ended up being awarded. So roughly a third of applications ended up receiving funding.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Vivian,
Can I say, I'm sorry, I missed all of that. Can you start all over? No, I'm joking. Do you have this document somewhere that I can?
Yes, it is
back?
at the
Okay.
front over there. But yeah, and it's also going to be on the website. But it's got a lot of information. I know that a lot of the titles are somewhat, they have some information, but when you read the descriptions, everything is so thought through and engaging. And so with all of those applications, many of the commissioners were part of the jury selection for the grants, and it was hard for the final list. So just a lot of really amazing programs. And so next, what I wanted to do was just give a quick update. Since we no longer require grantees to present in person to receive their final funding, they do their final reporting on Neighborly, and then I get to present to you guys a slide of information. But the most recent finished grants from 2024 were Bridging the Blues with Illini Swing Society. And they had a really amazing weekend with workshops, performances, dance, music. I might have added more of these, but All Score Urbana with Ralph Lewis. So he's also a grantee for this next cycle also, but this project involves many different artists dancing, there's musicians, lots of devised work. So I think that each of these pieces is devised work, which is pretty exciting. Art Lab, which is also funded again this year, did an incredible series of workshops engaging residents with sewing and different types of art making, while also sharing knowledge about cellular structures and all kinds of biology terms that I am super familiar with, clearly. And the Youth Lit Fest that was held on campus, I think Barbara was a part of this.
The producer.
Yes, so very exciting project on campus. Did you want to speak about it at all?
No, we were just pointing out, I said, that's my cello.
Oh.
It was a very fun project, though, and it was so nice to see all the children enjoying themselves and seeing a live puppet show.
That's amazing. And I think this is the last one. I definitely have a soft spot for this one, but Dr. Preston Williams School, their art teacher, Lester, created this basically a year of being able to do a lot more non-traditional material art explorations, but then they also got to put on, I think, like monthly art shows where they got to create a gallery space at the elementary, invite families to see their gallery night. So this is just an example of one of the posters from, looks like their December one. And then the teacher also created these collages that sort of tie together the textile pieces that they made and the little plushies and all different projects that they worked on.
Can I say something, actually, going
Yeah.
backwards? That project for
This
the
one?
Literacy Festival,
Yeah.
that was actually funded by the state of Illinois this grant, and came about as a result of COVID. And then they tried to help restore communities by giving grants. And so this project the grant that I received paid for this whole project. And we were able to not only take it to 2 other communities, but we made a video of it, and it's on YouTube, and it's called Meet Mr. Twink.
Wow,
We used the money to benefit our community.
that's awesome. Another really exciting project that wrapped up was the Free for All Urbana High School drama program. So they were able to give free season passes to their performances, and I do not recall which performance this is, but very like neo-noir, black and white with some really fun set pieces. But yeah, they really blow me away when I see photos of Urbana High School drama. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And I think that might be, and the library. The library had its Artists in Residence program, and they had their exhibit for the Artists of the Corridor, as you all saw for the past few months. But they wrapped up, they were able to showcase the works and workshops of 3 artists, local artists, Curtis Chung, Nika Lux, and Huan Yen. And I really hope that this is just a springboard for them to keep doing it every year. They didn't apply this time around, but I'm hoping it's because it's part of their yearly calendar. So we'll have to see. All right. And then now just moving along to some upcoming events and opportunities. I did just want to share this month's Postmark with 40 North is in conjunction with the Costume and Prop Walk with Krannert Center. So those 2 kind of work together to bring something really exciting to the city of Urbana. So during this weekend through, I think, the rest of the month, if you go into certain downtown businesses, they'll have displays of some of the costumes from Krannert Center that are from some recent plays and performances all the way to some more historical ones from maybe as late as like the 60s. So it's going to be really fun. And also with Postmark, there are some scavenger hunts that they do. So I'm very curious to see what exactly they're going to be doing with their scavenger hunts with the prop and costume walk. But there's going to be really cool installations. And if you're around this weekend, I would say just pop in to Main Street and just see what's going on. And their hub is going to be at the library again. So if you need a map to check out what the deals are and see where everything's located, you can get that from them. Create and Chill is an event that's happening at the same time. So if you want to do both, you can. But this is an event put on by Darker Than Blue with support from the College of Fine and Applied Arts and Urbana Arts and Culture. So it is pretty much a come hang out at the IMC, listen to some live DJing. There's going to be art supplies for people to do some make and take, some collage materials, and it will be a really good time. And next week, on the 15th, the Arts and Culture program has partnered with Krannert Art Museum, the Urbana Park District, to put on Erlinger After Dark. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Erlinger House, but there are several mid-century modern homes that are around the CU area that belong to the university because over the decades, professors who either had those houses built or they lived in those houses, they then donated them to the university. So the Erlinger House belongs to I believe the School of Architecture, Landscape Architecture, and it used to belong to one of the professors of dance. So they did a lot of exhibitions and performances in the house. So they're basically creating this really amazing evening of showcasing some of the work that was filmed decades past, and then also just celebrating the architecture. And it's going to be really interesting with some projections in the landscape and on the building itself, and also food trucks and maybe some live music. I can't quite remember, but it'll be at Carl Park. So if you're in the neighborhood at all, just, walking your dog at night or something, come swing by. It's 7 to 9:30. All right. Art at the Market is happening again next Saturday on July 19th from 9 a.m. to noon. It will be run by High and Fibers. So the artists that just recently received the arts grants will be doing some demos with punch needle rug making. And so folks can go and try it out. They can also learn more about the practice and just contribute to the mural that she's doing. I didn't want to put the full picture because she's trying not to reveal it until it's done all the way. So this is just a tidbit, but people were able to kind of do patchwork of the rug, and it does spell out Urbana in big letters, and it's going to be super fun to display once it's all wrapped up. Another event coming up that we sponsor, this will be the third year of us working with the Starling Shakespeare Company that's out of Michigan. They do a tour of the Midwest during the summertime with Shakespeare. And this year we will be hosting at the Lake House at Crystal Lake Park in partnership with the Park District. And it will be a double feature. So in the past 2 years, it's just been one event, and it's free Shakespeare. So this year, it's going to be Hamlet at 1 o'clock, and then in the evening at 6:30, the Comedy of Errors will be performed as well. So free. There's going to be popcorn from the Park District, and it is definitely a family-friendly event. Nothing too scary. I know Hamlet's a little scary sometimes, but it should be a good time. And the Candlelight Serenade coming up August 29th. I just wanted to put it all on your calendars early because this is going to be a really exciting one. We had the jazz edition in May, and now this is the symphony edition. And perhaps, Barbara, would you like to speak on this?
I know a little bit about it. This will be the third year that the Symphony Quartet has performed for the event. I found out today who all the personnel will be. It's been a little challenge to find people who are in town at that time. And I have the pleasure of performing again and going through all the music and taking requests. If anybody has a request, your request has been granted. I bought the music last night.
Yay.
Are we going to get a teaser?
I'm willing if you are, or you'll have to come and find out.
I put my request in.
You put in a request for some Cole Porter.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a lovely event. We sold out last year, and when I talked about perhaps expanding the program for a different size ensemble, I was encouraged to keep it down to 4 because they ran out of room last year. So if we have more people drawing more guests, we might even have to have 2 performances. Who knows? It would be great if it did, but it probably won't happen this year.
If anyone has been to this event or has heard about it, it is really cool. The lake house is transformed with lots of lights and beautiful music. The boats, the paddle boats are out, so folks can either enjoy the music at a table on the deck, or they can kind of be in the boat and just kind of kick around while they're listening to music. I think people really enjoy it. I think last time I went, there's just really cute couples with even the tiniest of dogs with them on their paddle boat. So it was a really fun time.
Yeah, the frogs even like it too.
All right. So on to new business. Really excited that we were able to see the finished completed murals on glass that's at the parking garage. And so this is the start of the next round of murals on glass art selection. So basically what I have here are the different slides of options. I'm not going to be going into detail on who the artist is and the work. That's something that we'll definitely discuss at the next meeting. But for now, what I want to do is flip through these images so that we can be sharing this information at this meeting. And then similar to the last time we did a vote, you will be on your own time doing the secured survey, and then those results will then be the recommendations that I'll bring to you again at our August meeting. So this is Lincoln Square Mall. I know that we spoke about this in past Murals on Glass when the call was out, but there are two locations on Lincoln Square Mall. This is the south entrance. So if you were to go to the Winter Farmers Market, the indoor one, these are doors that are never open. So we decided that this would be a great location, and we've been working with the mall's property manager, Hannah Smith, to find the right locations. These used to be opened when they would have like car shows, so they don't really do that anymore. So this is pretty much closed up. So this is our first location that we're going to be looking through, and this is our first option. Second. So that's just a little preview of different materials. These are digital submissions that have been sort of thrown in for the chance to be a printed vinyl that is then adhered to the window. So it's been really exciting to see different materials that are then photographed and then those digital submissions sent in. Our next location, this might be a little bit easier to place yourself, but this is the east entrance. So this is sort of like north of the co-op, south of Amara Yoga, that entrance. And so this is our first option. Might be the last one. 40 North did a really great job creating mock-ups so that you all could see what it might actually look like for the art to be in those windows. These are images, all of the images were sort of selected from the grand pool with a committee that included me, 40 North, and Hannah from the mall, just to make sure that we're staying with like the vision of the mall and that nothing's too difficult to kind of see through or see in terms of like safety and security. So those were sort of pre-approved images based on the pool that we got in. But I would say later this week, you'll receive an email that it has the link to the survey, and it'll be a ranking system. So for each location, you can rank 1 to 5, 1 being your first choice, and then 5 being your last choice. And that will be, hopefully, everything will come in and be due from you guys by the 22nd, I would say. So I'm trying to give you all a couple of weeks to look those over.
22nd of July?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to bring the final recommendations to the August meeting because hopefully we'll be able to get these installed as well. But if not, we'll have these installed in early spring of 2026. And that's all I have.
A lot of activity.
Lots. Any questions about anything?
Did you guys get a new budget approved for this next fiscal year?
We did get a budget approved for fiscal year 2026. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Any
that's something.
changes? Maybe we could look at the budget if there are any changes in the next couple meetings, just to get a look and see if there's any thing that we should know.
Did you get
I'd love to share the public arts budget with you all at the next meeting.
Great.
Well, talking about budgets, and you were talking about perhaps trying to find a way to have an intern all year long. Are there any options or something that we could consider finding ways to raise more money for it?
I believe that we can submit a budget request for specific projects, and I would say that having the internship would be something worthwhile.
I would think with partnering with the university like you're doing, it's a good training opportunity for them, and it certainly would look good on their resume as well.
Yeah.
So being helpful to the city.
And I know, actually, I meant to introduce, as we started our meeting, Emma, because I know we did some introductions, but Emma is part of the CAS program, and that program is sort of a partnership with the university, a student, and a community organization leader, and there's a specific project. And the really amazing thing is that the resources from the university are what pay the intern or the mentee. So, yeah. And actually, now is a great time. I wanted to have Emma come up and introduce themselves with a little bit more information about them. I think this microphone should work.
Okay, my name's Emma Loyola. I'm a rising junior. Got you.
It picks you up better.
I'm a rising junior at U of I. I'm studying in media and cinema studies and communications. I've been working with Vivian and also Dr. Carolyn Cotto, working on this project. So my plan is to kind of showcase and recognize the impact, socioeconomic impact as well, that BIPOC artists have on the CU community. So I'm privileged to be here. I love what you guys are doing. So yeah, that's me.
I'm aboard. Thank you.
Yeah, really awesome to have Emma working on this project. And I think that it could be just one of many relationships that we can build with the university. And just sharing some information about Jake Pinholster, the new dean for FAA. He's really interested in working with the community to kind of make that connection more. And I think it'll be really exciting in the future to just see how can students be engaged in local government in the arts community. And there are definitely more opportunities. I was just sent another opportunity. It's CLL. I'm not exactly sure what the acronym is, but I think it's Community Learning Leadership Lab. Community Learning Lab. And I think that they're doing a whole call for fall projects. And the projects range quite vastly in terms of having a student work on data analysis or being in charge of some sort of grant project or humanities project. So I think it could be really cool if you all had ideas too to bring them at some point, or if you have ideas and you want to email them to me, we can definitely see what might work and what you all think might be a good way to connect students to the arts and culture program.
I think it would be very helpful to the university too for recruitment when they know they can offer that to students and they can help attract even very talented students to come here because of it. So it sounds like a win-win.
Yes. I did want to share, I think I forgot to put it in this report, but I'll have it on our minutes for next month. But the general operating grant for the Illinois Arts Council, it was submitted a while ago, and I was able to speak to the grant manager of our region, And she said that we'll probably be hearing back in November, which I think is a little later than typical. And so I believe that that is also a way that that temporary salary could be increased. I could be wrong. I got to do my research with HR, but I believe that the general operating grant, the purpose of it a lot of the time is to fund temporary or partial salary positions. So that would increase our current $3,000 for temporary salary to, possibly $10,000 more than that, based on previous years. And in the past, those funds have been used to fund some of the arts grants. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think that was just the easiest thing at the time.
Sounds promising.
It does.
I would love if we could talk about that more, brainstorm ways that the commission could help with thinking about how that could help support you and what would be realistic for you. Do you typically do all of the grant writing yourself for those? Okay.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing that would be great to have help with is the grant writing part. Right now, the Illinois Arts Council has another grant open. They just opened it July 1st. It's the Creative Projects Grant, and it's capped at $12,000. This is another thing where, I have ideas that I'm thinking of being a staff person, but it could be really great to get input from you all or, bounce ideas if I can share those with you. But ideally, submitting something this month would be great, simply because it's one of those rolling grants where they will accept and award as they get the grants. So once the money is out for a region, it's really like first come, first serve almost. So the sooner the better with that one. Not that we have to submit a proposal, but it would be also good to just get on their radar for that project grant.
I think anything that we can do to I know that there's been a big focus over the years for the city of Urbana to really build connections with U of I and get students into downtown Urbana. And so it could be one idea that I know that has been talked about is how to utilize students to recruit other students to bring into downtown Urbana. So I know that we have so many amazing funded programs that we're doing, but maybe down the line that could be something where, in addition to maybe grant writing or having interns, we could utilize students to help serve as ambassadors for Save Urbana, or try and recruit more students to come into downtown Urbana. Sure. So anyway, but yeah, I would love to talk more about that.
Maybe what about the Parkland Art Department? There's an active art department and gallery at Parkland. Are we restricted from going that far?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
But those are people who are experts and curators, and so it does kind of beg the question of how do we push limits with how we can work with folks, but having them come here, which isn't always ideal, but when we're limited to where funds can be used, I'd have to look more into the details of that grant specifically, but in terms of our time being used to then, activate an area that's outside of Urbana, I think that would be sort of called to question.
That might be a little bit conflict of interest with 40 North too, I suppose.
But if it was maybe the Art Coops gallery that they have, and maybe bringing other curators together, the possibilities are seriously endless, which makes it so hard to do this work.
And we do have art shows in Lincoln Square, and the photography exhibits, and there are some possibilities. We just have to kind of
Yeah.
put them on the front burner.
Another update I wanted to give, and this is not really part of the arts and culture budget at all, but it used to be, the Tier 3 grants. So since there is no longer Tier 3 grants, and Robert, there's so much context that I apologize if I'm forgetting to give you more detail, but the arts grants, it was $90K for small initiatives, medium-sized initiatives, and the large events like Pygmalion, Pride Fest. And so I was able to secure funding that was $90K for just Tier 1 and 2, and then a separate $60K with working with the city administrator at the time and the Public Realm team to then have this separate amount to fund festivals in downtown. And so that's a different pot of money, but the festivals that were awarded are Pygmalion, Pride, CU Folk and Roots, and CU Tango Music. So really exciting to have all 4 of those downtown. And I believe that we will be trying to open that back up again so that there can be another round of specifically downtown festivals. Yep.
Does that include the Sweet Corn Festival, which is not all music?
No. I think that the call is really to get something new. And so it's possible that if there's another RFP out or RFP call for a request for proposals, and someone who wants to submit a Sweet Corn-esque thing, that would be totally doable. They're allowed to do so. I think that because Sweet Corn was part of that downtown business association that no longer exists, that it would take like sort of a production company or something to put on something like that. But the call or request for proposals will be open to anyone to submit. Mm-hmm.
I had a question about the intern. Has it been since, I don't have to hold it. So since there are budgetary constraints, has there been a consideration for their time to be used towards like credit hours? I know with my experience with interns, sometimes that's more beneficial to them than actually getting paid, like where their time will go back to direct credit hours towards their graduating, which might take off the budget constraints altogether and would build that would build a great partnership with the university too.
It's been discussed. Specifically, some FAA professors have reached out to me in the past asking about, would you be interested in doing that? Or, yeah, my students could really use like grant writing or grant process experience. And I think that it really comes down to the student and the advisor to make those connections too. But I think that now that we've had the first intern in a while and they've been paid, I know that at the time, my supervisors were advising me to make sure that it was a paid position in terms of like just making sure accountability and that sort of thing was happening. But I'm very interested in accredited internship, independent study kind of thing, something like that. And I think it's just a matter of making sure that the new leadership that's coming in is on board. I know a lot of those internships, they require a location that the intern and the supervisor would be, is together, and it's not just remote work or something. So I think that once there's a go-ahead from new leadership, then I definitely would like to be on the job boards on campus and get one person in a semester. Nicholas did a lot in the span of 8 weeks, but I think that it makes it more worth like the training and the time if it would be over the course of either a semester or like a whole year. Mm-hmm.
And I think you could hold students more accountable if they knew like they were going to get credit hours. because I mean, the younger generation, I don't think money really motivates them, whereas graduating probably would. And almost like on a graded scale, like depending on how well you did based off of what you were doing, you could get a certain amount of credit hours, especially. And I think that would be able to give you the intern for a longer period of time.
I think it was a really incredible experience for me and Nicholas to be able to work together, and I would love for more U of I students to get that chance, because also getting to meet you all, seeing how local government can advocate for the arts, and I mean, there's just so many reasons why it seems like a good fit. Yeah. That is all I have. That was a kind of a lengthy staff report, but it had been a couple months. But I would say, well, look out for that email that has the art selection survey. And if you do know that you're going to be around the next month or two, to check out some of these events and see if they fit in your schedule, and maybe I'll see you there. That's all I have for you.
Thank you so much. Very thorough and exciting report with all the activity going on. It's great. You've been a busy lady. Are there any items to discuss or bring up, or can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Xander. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned.